Hello, viewers. Welcome to the third episode of our Matillion ETL for Redshift series. If you have been following along, you already know the basics of the interface and the components. Now it's time to build your very first Matillion job, that is the transformation job. We will create a simple ETL pipeline, loading data, filtering it, and writing the output to Redshift without writing a single line of code. This is where you move from learning to doing. Let's dive in. Now you can see two example SQL queries here on your screen, both doing common ETL operations. Now, instead of running them manually in a query editor, we are going to convert them into a Matillion transformation job. This means recreating the same logic using Matillion's drag and drop components. This is exactly how real world ETL teams work, translating business logic into scalable visual workflows. So, now let's break them down and build the flow step by step. So, let's take the first example. Select name milliseconds by 60,000 as minutes from Datacharya. This is a schema name. And track Datacharya.track is a table name where milliseconds is greater than 3 lakhs, which means we need three components here basically. The first one is a table input component. Let's go to Matillion first. Here in the Matillion Enterprise Edition, if you can see from the default project group, if you right click on the default project group, you will be finding options to add a transformation job. Similarly, in our Matillion hub, we can do the same thing. In our project group, there is a plus icon. We'll click on the plus and add a transformation pipeline. So we'll provide a name for this pipeline. Let's say MTL underscore transformation underscore. So what is our table name? It was track transformation underscore track, and we'll give a dummy description for this transformation track. And here we'll be clicking on the plus button first to add a new component. The first component would be a table input component. We'll search for the table input here, and the table input component appeared here. We'll be clicking on it. So the table input component has been selected. Let us configure the table input component. The database name we can choose from here as dev. The schema name, as I showed, it is Datacharya. The target table name, our target table name is track. So we'll be selecting track here, and the column names. So here basically there are three columns: name, milliseconds, and minutes. So minutes is a alias name. So we have two columns, name and milliseconds. So we can choose only those two columns. First is the name and milliseconds. So this double arrow that you are seeing, that is for taking all these columns at a time to the right hand side as selected columns. But I'm taking individual columns now, this name and milliseconds. That's why I clicked on this single arrow. Now you have to click on the save button. Now our next step is to add a filter component. So this where condition, we will be configuring this as a filter component where milliseconds is greater than 3 lakhs. So let me add a filter component here. It's the same process, add component, filter, and you have to select this component. This component will then appear in the canvas. Then we have to connect these two components with the connector. Then you have to click on the filter component and then configure the properties. The filter conditions, our condition was where milliseconds greater than 3 lakhs. So choose value. Choose value, you have to choose the input column here, milliseconds, qualifier is, and comparator greater than, and the value you have to mention as 3 lakhs. Save it. Now we can see both our components are validated. This green tick shows that these two components are validated. Now we will move to the next component. We have to add a calculator component to calculate this particular column, minutes column. So we will add a new component, calculator. Then we'll connect this filter with the calculator. This is connected. Then we will configure this calculator component. Include input columns. This should be yes, because we want all the columns from this track input to be carried forward to calculator. Then we will be mentioning the calculations. To configure this, we'll be needing the expression name. The expression name should be the alias name or the column name, new column name. So minutes is the new column name. We'll be adding this here. And the expression. The expression is milliseconds divided by 60,000. So we'll be finding all the columns listed here for the input table. So we'll be clicking on milliseconds, just double click on it, divided by 60,000 and just save it. So this has been saved now. Now to check a sample data of this calculator, we can just click on this sample and here we'll be able to see a random sample records. So this is a sample of 25 rows. Now I want to store this data into a temporary table. So how to do that? So there is no temporary table concept in Matillion. We will be using a component known as rewrite table. What rewrite table does? Let me first drag this rewrite table component over here in the canvas. Then we can discuss on the rewrite table. Rewrite table, first it will rewrite table. First we will connect this rewrite table with the calculator. Then we will provide a schema name. Let the schema name should be same as Datacharya. Target table is track transformation. And let us just leave the table sort key and table distribution style as it is. Now our all configuration is completed and all the jobs or all the components are validated. So I was talking about rewrite table. What is a rewrite table? In Matillion, as I said, we don't have a temporary table concept. We cannot use any particular component as temporary table. There is no such component. So if we want to store a particular result into a new table which doesn't exist or which structure doesn't exist, we want the input structure to be adopted by the new table. Then in that case, we can use this rewrite table. Unlike Redshift, this rewrite table doesn't drop on its own. It gets retained throughout. If we want to drop it specifically, we have to write a drop statement or a drop query, or there is a delete table component which we can configure to delete or drop this particular table. Okay, so our transformation is ready now. Let's now run it to check the data. So we will click on the run button here. The status is running. Now we can see the transformation job execution has been completed. We will go back to Deviewer and check the data, how it looks. So we will be doing a select star from Datacharya dot track underscore transformation. Now we will run this. So here we can see there are around 1069 records in this table. Let's run this statement to verify our data across this table. So here also we have around 1069 records. So our data matches, and here we can confirm that the transformation job has executed successfully and gave us the correct result that we wanted. So now let's move on to query number 2. Select star comma total into 0.1 as estimated tax from Datacharya dot invoice where total is greater than 20. So here also we can see there are two components involved here. The first is the filter component. Second one is the calculator component. So let me create a new transformation job, transformation pipeline, transformation MTL underscore transformation underscore invoice. Let us keep this description as blank as of now. Now we will first add an input table component, table input. First, let's configure this table input component. The database name is Tave, schema name is Datacharya, the table name is invoice. Let me confirm the table name again. Yeah, it's invoice. Columns. So here you can see there is a star written here. So we want all the columns. We will click on this double arrow and all the columns are selected. Click on save. Now we will be needing a filter component. Add the filter component, drag it to be in line with this invoice. Then connect this filter with table input or the invoice table. Now we will be configuring this filter conditions. So what is our filter condition? Total is greater than 20. So click on the filter conditions and input column is total, is comparator is greater than, and the value is 20. Click on save, and the combined condition we will leave it as it is, as we don't have any other conditions, only one filter condition is there. We will now move to the calculator component for calculation of the new column. Calculator, we'll connect this calculator to the filter. Let me go back to Diviver and check what is the calculation. It's total into 0.1 as estimated tax. So our expression name would be the alias name as I told earlier, estimated tax and total. So we will be taking this total column over there, total into 0.1, and let's save this expression. So the include input column should be yes, as we need all the columns along with the new column. Now we'll be storing this data in a rewrite table or a temporary table. Rewrite table. Let me connect this calculator to the rewrite table. Now we'll configure the rewrite table. This is the last step in the transformation. The schema name would be Datacharya. The target table name would be as per us. Transformation invoice underscore transformation, and table sort key and table distribution style. Let us keep it as it is. Now our transformation job is ready. All the components are validated. Now we will just run it. So the execution has started already. Completion status is still running. Okay, execution has been completed. Now we'll go back to dbeaver and check the data. So let me confirm the table name first, what we have configured in the rewrite table. So the table name is invoice underscore transformation. So we'll just query on the invoice underscore transformation table, select star from Datacharya dot invoice underscore transformation. Let me check how many records are there. So if you can see, there are 4 records over here, and the last column is estimated tax that we calculated. So this is our new calculated column. Now we will query the example query that we had earlier. Is the data matching with our transformation jobs data or not? Let me run this in a new window, and it's same. Estimated tax, we have a new column in at last, and there are total 4 records, which is matching with our transformation job records. That's it for this episode. We just turned raw SQL logic into a fully functional Matillion transformation workflow, visually and without code. In the next episode, we'll take it a step further by chaining multiple jobs together and introducing orchestration logic to automate everything end to end, just like it's done in enterprise ETL environments. If this video helped you, please like, share it with your data peers, and subscribe so you never miss an update. Hit the bell icon too, and I will see you in episode 4.